Hi guys, my name's Caitlin. I work obviously in the payroll team. I'm going to be giving a pay presentation today just on basically just the core functions of the pay team and how you can contact us if you have any questions. Fair warning, I've got some terrible jokes throughout just because as important as pay is, it is a little bit dry. So this is my attempt to lighten it up. So also if you have any questions throughout, feel free to call out as we're going. So that's fine, you don't have to wait till the end. All right. So, fair warning. All right. So we've got timesheets we're going to go through. We're also going to go through the different types of leave. Superannuation, very exciting. We've got the other functions of the pay team because obviously we do more than just those three things, I promise. But I feel like those things are probably the most important things for new starters to be aware of. We've also got just your contacts. So basically everyone will have their own pay person depending on what your surname is. So I'll let you know about that at the end and how you can contact them. Okay, timesheets. All right. So basically we use PeopleSoft at DFAT. So the way you fill it out, you can see the different times there, time slots. Basically it's in, out. So if you come in at 9, you'll put 9, 12:30 out for lunch, 1 o'clock in again, and then 5 o'clock you go home. On the right there, you can see the different codes there. So the drop-down bar basically has a fair few options. The one you'll use most of the time will be worked hours. But there is things like overtime if you've had that approved before. There's also things like part-time additional hours. So if you've got a part-time schedule and it's pre-approved, you can record any additional hours and you'll be paid for those at your normal rate. If you have any questions about your timesheets or filling it out, or if you have any issues, like sometimes a weird clock will appear on the left, which is an exception, which means that you probably just filled out something a little bit wrong. So just let us know if you have any problems. Okay, flex time. So flex time is only for level 6 and below. So if you do over your scheduled hours, so 7.5 hours a day, you accrue flex. Maximum hours of flex you can have is 40. Basically, theoretically, as soon as you exceed that, your manager can take it off you. But at the bottom of that screen, you can see that you can cash out 25 every financial year, but that's only in exceptional circumstances where it's been approved by your manager. So if there's a need for you to accrue more and work longer hours, then we do take that into account. Prior approval is needed before you take your flex. So if you want a Friday afternoon off, and you've got enough hours for that you've accrued, you can actually take that. You just need to get approval from your manager first. And you'll fill that in your timesheet like I said. So in the drop down bar there'll be flex time used, so use it that way. Overtime. There is overtime. Mostly only for level 6 and below. Use your timesheet for approval. That won't even come to the pay team. Basically it goes to your direct supervisor and then your director. Manager level, so EL1 and above, you can get overtime. It's really only in exceptional circumstances though, and only with prior approval. You'll have to do a manual timesheet for that and submit it to the pay team, and we do it manually through the system. It also gets paid at a level 6.5 rate, so you won't get paid at the EL1 or EL2, whatever you are. All overtime needs to be approved prior to being completed. Obviously you can't just come in on a Saturday and then decide you want to be paid for it afterwards, so you do need prior approval. Leave. Okay, annual leave. You accrue 22 days every year of annual leave. You can take your annual leave at full pay or half pay, but there are restrictions. Basically, you can take 10 days of annual leave, which is equivalent to 20 at half pay every financial year. So that's really good. Maximum hours of annual leave you can have are 80, so they'll let you know if you've exceeded that, and you will have to either take that leave or you can cash it out. So you apply through PeopleSoft for all your leave. It'll be on your homepage, you'll see it there. It says absence request. But once again, if you have any problems, it should prompt you pretty well. Like, it's quite a simple process. But for different types of leave, you might need a hand, so just give us a call and we can talk you through it. Alright, long service leave. Alright, so 10 years of service, you get 3 months. Every year after that, you get 9 days. Long service leave can also be taken at full pay or half pay, except there's no restriction on how much you can take at half pay, as long as you have a minimum of 7 days, so basically Monday to Sunday. You can't break up periods of long service leave with other types of leave. So you can't take long service leave, annual leave, long service leave. It has to be one continuous period. So the way you can look at your balances for all of your types of leave through PeopleSoft. Once again, where the absence request thing is, there's also something to do with your absence balances. So that should be pretty straightforward, but once again, you can always contact us.
Oh, excuse me, I've got a question.
Yep.
For long service leave, I've come from another department and I had already accrued some there. So does that, are you able to get that and put it together with my new balance, or?
Yeah, as long as it's a recognised department, so any government department would be. So we'll definitely take that into account, and when we get your leave liabilities sent across from that department, we'll be able to let you know how much you've got.
Oh, that's right.
So personal carers leave. 140 hours you get upon commencement, and you get that every year after. It can only be taken for your own illness or injury or an immediate family member. So immediate family member, we're talking about your child, your grandchild, your parent or your grandparent. In special circumstances, if your manager director decides that your auntie or cousin or whoever it may be is actually closer to you than maybe the average auntie or cousin, they can approve for you to take it for them as well.
Oh, sorry, how about siblings?
Oh, sorry, of course, siblings.
Oh,
yes.
so they are immediate.
Immediate, yes. All right. Now you can take, if you take more than 3 days consecutively or more than 7 days in any financial year, even if they're just single days throughout the year, you'll need a medical certificate from there on in. So on the 4th day, for example, in a row, you need a medical certificate. Or also if you have that 8th day in that financial year, you'll need a medical certificate. If needed, if unfortunate things happen, there is unpaid PCL that you can take upon approval. Other types of leave. We've got maternity leave, parental leave, leave without pay, miscellaneous leave, or compassionate leave.
Excuse me, I have a question about maternity leave.
Yep.
How much maternity leave are we entitled to that's actually paid?
So we have 14 weeks at full pay, or you can also take all of that at half pay if you'd like.
Okay.
On top of that, you can actually take annual leave at half pay with no restrictions, just to extend it out a bit for as long as you'd like.
Okay, thank you.
Super. All right, so the default fund that we have is PSSAP. We paid 15.4%, which is more than most, so that's good news. Super salary is calculated on your birthday every year. So I know we get a lot of questions about like long service leave at half pay or annual leave at half pay and if that affects your super, but we only calculate what we pay you on your birthday every year. So you can take 6 months, even if you went 6 months part-time, in between having your birthday, it wouldn't matter as long as you're back to full-time by the time your birthday comes around. Your super salary never goes down, it always goes up, so that's also good news. Even if you lose an allowance that you had once, we do what's called an awardee and it goes up again. So you don't need to worry about your super salary ever going down. There are different options for voluntary contributions, but because there's so many different ones, whether you're with the PSSAP, PSS, CSS, it's best to just contact your paid person to talk about your individual circumstances. So other functions, salary sacrifice, we do that through Maxia. For Maxia, you can salary sacrifice anything from your car to childcare, as long as you use the childcare that's here in the DFAT building. Bank allotment adjustments, you can have your bank dispersed into as many accounts as you like, just let us know. A help desk request is the best way to do that. Transfer requests, so higher duties, or if you have a permanent transfer, like you're changing roles, we do that. Allowances, so if you're going overseas, basically we organise that, or even first aid allowance. Change of work schedule. So we've got something called the if not, why not policy, which is really flexible. Basically, it makes it really easy for you to be able to change your schedule depending on your circumstances. That includes things like a condensed schedule, so a 9-day fortnight, for example. Okay, how to contact us. Alright, so we've got me. I have A to F, so if your surname begins with A to F, that'll be me looking after you. So on and so forth, you can see there. I've got that on this handout I'm going to give you actually, is the list, so you'll be able to remember who is your pay person. How to get help. you can contact your pay officer. The details are provided, as I said, on the handout. FAQs on the handout as well. There are lots of things that come up really often, and basically I've just got some simple ones on here to help you out. Check the intranet. It's a really useful tool. We've actually got a really good page on there to answer a lot of your questions. Yeah, that's it, guys. So any questions at the end, or?
That's good. That's good.
Oh, fantastic. All right, I'll hand this out.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Nice to meet you.
You too. Thank you.